I don't want to know how things are to be. I want to exert action as long as I live, so that the sort of things which should, in my opinion, be, have more chances of being. If they're all set, it doesn't interest me anymore to see the year 2000 than it interests me to see the year 1000. The merit of the future is that it is not set. The merit of the future is that it is not set. The merit of the future is that it is not set. If they're all set, the merit of the future is that it is not set. The merit of the future is that it is the area in which we can exert our will, exert our efforts, and try to validate our values. That is the merit of the
future. We're in the double dag nabbits already. Welcome, everybody. Yes, welcome to Sunday service for October 22nd, 2023. Fall farming. This is a Grim Grizz live stream, virtually not alone experience. I'm Grim Grizz, and this is the casino card for the show. The king of the that one. Welcome, everybody. You know, Elon Musk shared something like "Good morning, choose violins." Oh, you did. Oh, good, Chad. Holy smokes, man. Where is it? I just put it up here. There it is. Share this tab. I didn't realize it was 26 minutes of it. We definitely need a what you call it, a distillate. But here's a wait. Well, you got to give them savings roll before you expose them to the cosmic burrito. But the thing is, if you're new around here to the Larpgate Year 4, the Fallen version, where everything gets really interesting, you might not be aware of such pinnacle hive mind social memories as the cosmological burrito of Chad the Alcoholic. And so you'll get a little of that today in today's Sunday service. We have the topic of fall farming that I'll hit on. And I tried a new and interesting thing when I set up the stream today. I went into the Pillar Chamber room on the Discord in the Integral Systems department where I can talk to the Shadow Cabal. And I said, "Hey, Pillars, do you want me to put anything on the board? You got anything for the board?" And boy, howdy do we. We got some bangers. Bangers, I tell you. Check this out. Come on. Hey, Rascal, what's up? Focus. Can you even? Can you? I don't think it can. And the cord's all tangled. We'll work that out. Welcome, everybody. You can tell it's a Sunday service because there is an absence in the Hive Mind chat of the pinned link to the Buy Me a Coffee and Ko-fi sites where I get the money YouTube doesn't take a cut from. That that's not there, and it's not there because it's the Sunday service. Welcome, everybody. Prepare yourselves for the savings throws. Spoiler alert, you'll be choosing between survival, social, wisdom, or heart. It has become apparent over the course of our existences that for whatever reason, if you tell them and they go along with it anyway, you get more points. And as such, here on the Grim Grizz live streams, as part of the Virtually Not Alone experience, we offer you savings throws against mind control because we'll be throwing it at you right and left. And you're already swimming in it, even if you only count advertisements. So you deserve a savings throw. And how that works is you get to choose between survival, social, wisdom, or heart as the basis for the savings throw. What aspect do you choose to help guard you against the mind control coming at you? Your will to survive, your social network, your accumulated wisdom, or the power of your heart? Survival, social, wisdom, or heart? Choose. Woo! I'm not surprised. Wow. Okay, I am a little surprised. Survivalist, solid number 9 for you. Socialists, solid number 9 for you. Lovers of wisdom, para 9s, 18 for you. Power of the heart, nat 20, baby. Look at that. You get bonus to next, +3 to next stream saves. And one of the most rare occurrences on the stream, a nat 20 by the indigo die, meaning you get to see it. There it is. Indigo kids, you got a nat 20 today as well. Congratulations.
One thing is true. A great change is imminent. Our psychological attitude is because we need more. We need more psychology. We need more understanding of human nature. Because we need more. We need more psychology. We need more understanding of human nature. Because the only real danger that exists is man himself.
And whoosh. Well, hey there, Marty, Dolly, Chad, Slack, and Chezzy. Ups and Steven and Cassandra, too. Oh, look, there's Neutrino and Dr. Lenny time. And that's probably all I see in there. If I missed you, you should probably chat some more.
The list? Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room? I want to cast Magic Missile.
The room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile. Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness.
Your life will then affect other people's lives in a way that you may never recognize. So let's move to the next diagram. Right here we have a diagram of an assembly line. And this is the place where the food truck was made, right? You got all these different parts. So you got all these different people. You have different robots. You have different computers. You have the concrete floor. You have all of the different metals. You have the clothes that the workers are wearing, right? You got the shirts, the pants, the socks, the boots. You have all of this different stuff that's going into that nobody's really thinking about. But there it is. And again, it makes up the reality of your burrito. Isn't that interesting? So let's move on to the next one here. Well, I got a diagram of some cinder block here. This is all very interesting because the cinder block is what this factory is probably made out of. And it's somewhere in the factory there's cinder block. I guarantee it. And in there, you have the mortar that's filling, that's holding the block together. You have a motorcycle outside doing whatever it's doing. You have the rebar, right? There's more metal. You have that looks like there's some wood up here that's going to be for whatever the plate at the top of the wall. You have all of this. Then you had somebody have to go in and actually dig out the footing, right? Maybe they had to actually come in and do the grading in the property. So they had to have an excavator come in and do all this work. And again, just think about this, like it's all this different stuff stacked up and stacked up and stacked up, and we're not even aware of it. We're just like, oh, I like my burrito, hanging out with my friend Jeff, eating a burrito, talking about our plans and or like what it was like for us years ago and how far we've come and this and that, right? And this all makes up your reality right here and right now. But you don't really.
Oh, yes, looky there, it's the gear. Apparently, in a fascinating turn of events to me personally, Stephen has reported that he'll be wearing Lobster Monkey sweatshirt in Hagia Sophia soon, and asks if he needs a savings. I think Hagia Sophia needs a savings throw from Lobster Monkey Goose. And you can get your own Lobster Monkey Goose at the Lobgate Agent Store, available in the description. Hey, look, we got some new comfort tees with Goose on it. And there's the Howdy Rascal stuff. Oh, and Denimore's Denny on that fancy hat. What is that? What is this, though? Why, apparently it's an inspirational poster for 2233 that grants you a +5 to survival and self-based saves versus mind control. Isn't that fascinating? Thank you, Stephen, very much. All right, here's the fancy pants blue church card for the show. Boom. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Bing, bing, boom, boom, boom. Sort of memento style, and work your way backwards. This is what's happening, which is so funny in the world to me. When you sort of have these hidebound conservatives,
Well, then everyone loses their minds.
I'm looking like the Joker here.
However, I do know that up and coming there is a special treat. That was the black Joker on the bicycle upside down, Dolly. The black one. And those of you who were here for the Deadlands parts of this, experiment know what that means. Let's see, what do we have up on deck that we can play instead? Oh yes, oh yes. Once upon a time, here, we'll do a little past authoring, previous seasons, right? Part of what as the float as I started to recognize this place as the flotilla we now have come to admit it is. One of the things that occurred that made it such was the appearance of Burn Power on Pastor Paul Van der Clay as in what was normally a rando slot was the semi not rando because like you as you know all randos have a life history and stuff and this guy had one. And I don't remember if it was far enough back that Game of Thrones was still on, but Game of Thrones was still fresh in the hemisphere at the time. And he was trying to move his library from Alaska to Tbilisi, Georgia by the Black Sea. And it was very much one of those, where they had the tower of all the, where what's his face ended up working with the, where they send out the ravens to let you know when it's winter. You guys know. You come into focus. Anyway, Byrne reminded me, yes, the anadromist. He swims upstream to breed. That he was that guy and not just somebody you could ignore. And he had his own channel. I was like, wait a minute. And still yet he hasn't moved his library and has recently asked for some money. So here's some of that.
Okay, so evidently I am live for the second time. I wasn't really live before, but this is the beginning of my attempt to get my library from Alaska to here, which is the craziest thing I've ever attempted in my life, but I'm sure you understand. Let's see if this helps the light a little. Now, okay. Wait, let's see if this upgrades it. That's weird. So I'm testing to see if I'm live. Okay.
This part right here is something I always thought that we could come together as a Discord and train people to do. You see, because there was the whole Deadwood analogy period where the gold rush is like people's minds and stories, and the extracting from them and getting it into the internet in the form of consumable podcast was essentially a function, a new career, a shadow career that is not yet manifested, that we could already start training people and equipping them with the skills with as part of the information war. And if we had such a team, we could then assign it to help Burn live stream without all that fumbling. I'm the one that does fumbling, and it is to make what we do look accessible. What? Let's go to the sea. Let's float out. Let's float for a minute. stunning move. Chad the alcoholic drops the face. Use your poop shape emoji. I tell you, Psycho Club. It's just a little internet hopumene. It's just a little internet hopumene. But if you think it was gossip and inappropriate, perhaps Gavin can straighten you out.
I think that's key. When you're talking about someone, if you are not experiencing unconditional love for that person, you might want to watch your mouth. So, yeah, if you don't have that unconditional love, then you might not want to talk about people. You might not want to talk about the person that you don't love. To their
Righty, well, let's address your issue, Gavin. Unconditional love. What, we're not allowed to communicate with anybody unless we have unconditional love? Nobody's that perfect. And we kill the people that are that perfect. We string them up on crosses and stuff. I'll tell you what, how about this? Maybe I love my neighbor as myself. And maybe my neighbor's playing some game where he's a YouTube live streamer ship captain who does asshole things as part of being a member of the fraternal regiment embodying narcissistic sociopathy, because mentally ill people are people too. People too. We're still people. And as part of the sacred order of foolish transparency, I get to be one of the good guys to tell you that we're going after brotherhood itself. Because if the narcissistic sociopaths get brotherhood, then we are the good guys, and we win. Hello. I see the assassins have failed. But as such, somebody who wants to love me properly doesn't do so unconditionally. They do so by entering the game itself and playing in an opposing role that helps me develop my character arc as part of the narrative adventure I'm on in this life amongst the living people and humans. And may they continue to do so. Hello, Ardlian. Hey, Red Pill, throwing in a dime. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. You'll even get the branding for that if I can find it.
I'm not a cat.
No, that's
the jam.
That's not either, but I like it.
I'm going to the jam.
Going to the jam. All right, I have first a question for everyone in the hive mind. If anybody knows either semi-auto is a different name on YouTube or doesn't ever talk much in the hive mind, but as is a pillar and is added to the pillar card list on the board, which is apparently sometimes visible, but also now transcribed onto this handy card, so I don't have to look behind me. These were all gifts to us by the Shadow Cabal of production executives as topics we will be addressing. The first of which I believe is from Charlie Brown. And he did all three of privileges, prophelicity, and age of decay. And that's what we'll be doing right after some peacocking. Hello. I see the assassin. I see the assassin. I see Red Pill. Let's see if that works. I think I've used my abusive powers on the Discord to change her name to Red Pill there. Thanks for helping me straighten everything out. And also for your contributions to the Pillarhood and the Shadow Cabal and the board today. The first topic we're going into is the one from I believe Charlie Brown. Yes. Stefan. This is prophelicity privileges. He gave me privileges, prophelicity, and age of decay, and I really couldn't think much for privileges until I inverted the order he gave it to me in and put it into prophelicity privileges, and the privileges that you can that become available to you as you lean into a profile enough for people to make projections onto it, because I am whatever you say I am. And there's look at that. You just knocked out that topic. Remember, there is no agency. We want what's best.
Like Hobo's Lullaby. Go to sleep, you weary hobo. Let the town go drifting by. Listen to the steel rails a-hummin'. That's a hobo's lullaby.
Oh, hi. All right, and next we have also from that phraseology, inspired and thankfully so, by the Shadow Cabal of production executives. We're the age of decay. In the age of decay is the fact that we are in time. This too shall pass, but and it comes down to whether or not we are in death itself, as tricked by the serpent into death, and we continue to exist in this age of decay, the realm of entropy, as a middle finger to death itself, as the shining light of love of creation, as we eat life. Life eats life. Life eats life. And that's all to give a middle finger to entropy. And but some people view that and phrase it as the age of decay, because the promise of the escape from this age of decay into where everything is pristine and perfect forever. I guess I'm not sure what's supposed to follow that, but that's what I have for this. Oh, and I made a banner about it too. Look at that, the age of decay segment. That was it there. And we have two more. We have more. There's more coming. There's gonna be more right after these. Next up on the hit parade is Decimation versus from Rascal. But first, something that I ended up clicking on in the algorithm that I wanted to show you guys a little bit of this. It's called Nikola Tesla's confirmation: vibrations dictate our reality.
This video will show you
Why are
how
you blue? Quit being blue. Just stop it. Thank you. This part here is fascinating, and you don't have to hear him, but check this out. Here, I'll blather over it. He's got the three little. For those of you just listening, he seems to have three different translucent, such as the light can shine through, sheets of geometric Mandela-like patterns, as those generated from frequency. Like if on the what the my brain stopped. It's the thing where you put all the sand beads on the thing that gets music, and then that stuff. It looks like those kind of patterns, and there's three of them, and as he overlays them here like this, it turns out that when they're all overlaid, it's a face. It's a baby's face just looking at you. And then that was neat, and I wanted to show you guys. And now Decimation versus
Bing bing boom boom boom.
Okay, so what Raquel suggested for the hive mind today, it was decimation versus annihilation. And frankly, I just didn't want to do Annihil on Sunday. It felt wrong, so I dropped that off, and we're just going to do Decimation, to which I decided we'd take a little adventure over to this-little-corner.com and see what Decimation brought us there. So let's go on that adventure together now.
Special privilege is...
Wait, no, where's the part? The Decimation is 102. Okay.
Emotion and behavior to develop innovative angles on how to publicize the problem of marine life decimation. So I'm going to tell you about 3 different psychological concepts that we've tried to integrate into our advertising over the past couple months.
What? You're integrating psychological operations into your advertising? Why would you do such a thing? Why? Religious persecution and or criminals and or whatnot. They're products of the empire. The shock troops of the empire against the native population following the decimation through infection. What?
Of the systems of oppression. Now, I'm not going to argue about whether these things are true or not. This is just how I see their version of diversity, what diversity is to these people. A little more light. Sun kind of comes in and out, so I may adjust the light on occasion. As you can tell,
the sun does kind of come in and out. The sun does kind of come in and out. Welcome as we explore decimation at this-little-corner.com. I'm General Griswold Gaius Grim of the First Life and Regression Protocol. This is a Sunday service stream, and we're going to get to fall farming at some point, but right now we're exploring decimation, and I'm checking in with the hive mind. The Havas apparently showed up. Hey, there it is. How you doing there? And somebody give that dude a wrench so he can post the link. What dude? What's going on over there? I don't know. I missed it. Do it over. I'm not scrolling up that far. Okay, but next on the decimation tour we have oh boy, it's a winner.
Yeah, that element of risk. It's not everybody. It doesn't have to be everybody. And that's what we should learn from decimation, from the process of decimation. If you're not familiar with it, you should look it up. It's very interesting. But that's what we should learn from it, is it doesn't have to be everyone, guys. Things can work without being universal. Things can work really well when they're not universal. And that's a really good lesson. Like you don't have to go all the way. You don't have to be perfect. There is a level of ambiguity past which things still happen, right?
Right. If somebody says right, all right, it's a spell. Dark arts. Watch yourself. Decimation, as I understand it, has come to me through a time in my life when I was visiting my father, and the person he had raised as a son was watching these shows on a network called Stars, if I remember right, about the Roman Empire times, and there was this one episode where the guy you kind of liked, that was kind of like no, wait, he was the fuck up son probably. And he comes in there and he's like, all right, well, we're doing the decimation. And then they took a bunch of rocks, the black stones and the white stones. And it was 10% white stones, because decimals, 10%. You see, etymology, pay attention. Woo! Okay, and then they took the black and the white stones, and if you drew one of the stones, then you got killed, because it's like collective punishment, or I don't know what the justification was. Let's see if our friend Richard wrote. No, let's see what, if anything, deeper in our this-little-corner exploration finds us any more about decimation. Up next, a piece of the Exodus seminar, apparently. Dun, 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 dun.
Fall apart because,
right,
to show a point, right? So we equate darkness, utter darkness.
Well, that fumble on the clicking means I shouldn't play it as far as I'm concerned, so we're moving on to this one.
About 30,000 churches during their time, burnt, blown up, turned into stables, turned into whatever, decimation of an ancient tradition. And so in our world, we have been lucky. We've had freedom, and we haven't seen this kind of persecution, at least not, maybe since the French Revolution. We haven't seen that type of destruction. But what we've been faced with is rather a kind of suicidal desire for ugliness. And so instead of having our churches blown up, we are given these churches. I don't know. I don't even know where that is, and I didn't really want to know. We have a church in Quebec, and when they built it, it was this beautiful futuristic project of this modern building, and everybody was happy about it. But the people in the city basically said, you know what? It looks like a handbag.
It looks like a handbag. That's the next topic. Telepathic heretic hobo hermits. Up next, but first, even more branding.
Collecting and preserving this knowledge, this indigenous knowledge that is in danger of being lost, that's rapidly being lost due to all sorts of factors, the decimation of cultural traditions, the loss of habitat, the loss of species, climate change, all of these things are leading to the disappearance of this knowledge. And yet there is still a lot left to be known. So
I believe that to be a philanthropic mushroom studier guy. What I've learned from my exploration of this little-corners.com opinions on the word decimation search is that we frequently around here misuse the term decimation to have nothing to do with decimals or 10%ing of an army, which I think is the appropriate word of it. A lot of people are getting wrenches and have wrenches around here, and for the most part, that's to protect them from the other people who have wrenches around here. It's a very complicated interplay and dynamic. It seems to be the link that the hive mind wants you to see is Teo's first. Tayo's first. See, I always wanted to say, hey, I always wanted to say, hey, Teo, but it's Tayo. So it's hi-oh, Tayo, and that just doesn't feel right. But this is apparently, his first appearance? I'll highlight your comments. Tell me what I'm playing for people.
That's going on, and I thought it was important. And I said at the meeting yesterday that I find it difficult to find spaces where I can truly be myself. I can fit into almost any space without problem, but expressing all of my ideas without feeling judged I don't find those spaces often, and I do go to church, so that tells you everything you need to know about the state of the church. And you've always, or your channel has always been some channel that says, okay, you can do all the thinking, talking thing, but do something about it. Actually, take some action, do something about the things that you're thinking and talking about. And I felt it would be a miss.
Have any of you gotten any message of do something what you're talking about? Embodying the action of what the Thinky Talky Corner talks about? I don't know where he got that impression, but apparently it was motive enough for him to start his estuary groups. And now on to the exciting topic of telepathic heretic hobo hermits, as submitted by the Shadow Cabal member of Red Pill over there. You guys didn't tell me if you want the initials on your capes in the thank you picture I'm still working on. Here's the old thank you that actually still says thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the Fall Farming Stream, a Sunday service stream brought to you by Grimgriz and the Shadow Cabal of production executives. We're on to the topic of telepathic heretic hobo hermits, and that's I don't know. He just gave me heretic hermits, I think, but it turned into telepathic heretic hobo hermits because that's what the hive mind is allowing us. This medium of internet live interchange is heretofore unknown amongst the human species, and it's akin to cybernetically assisted telepathy, essentially. I don't know a better terminology, and as such, these telepathic heretic hobo hermits can align and synchronize, and perhaps even perform experiential, reality altering experiments together. We did try to make, those arches in St. Paul or wherever, the big art, the St. Louis, maybe the arch. We tried to make it glow before. I don't know if we had anybody go check, though.
There is no agency. We want what's best.
I don't know. We should be getting an update. The comment says, I wonder if the London estuaries are calmer and than the rest of London is currently, and if the conversations are still conversating, I would think they might have to get escorts to go to the estuary conversations. It seems to be popping off as if it was intended to over in London, or maybe it just seems that way because of the what we're presented as narrative. I think the current narrative needs more cowbell.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
We're gonna have to bounce back over to brand one, man. We don't even have the shanty on the new one yet.
We all know that there is no agency any living gent can see. Doing what is right for me is lifting up my bro so he can grow some eyes to see that doing what is right for me increases all our agency.
And to the extent I am pressed to discuss current events at all, other than the ways we have on the After Dark channel, I would like to say there's this thing. If you can find it, it was programmed to me as the Russian general. His name was like something Petrov, and he's apparently dead now, but he's got this series of videos he puts out, and he suggests that what Exodus was Pharaoh's creation of middle management, and how that Pharaoh knew that at some point the tyrannical rule would inevitably result in a revolution for which someone should shield themselves from all the blood that would be spilled by the creation of a middle management that like the Pharaoh is in the shadows and the middle management gets destroyed, and then they install a new one after the revolution, but they're still on top as the Pharaohs. So that's the extent of the current events discussion I'm capable today on this particular Sunday service.
You're crushing me, people. You're crushing me. I'm big, but I'm not that big.
Now what'll that asshole think of next? Is anybody got a dime?
This means that the individual's psyche is far from being safely synthesized. On the contrary, it threatens to fragment only too easily under the onslaught of unchecked emotions. While this situation is familiar to us from the studies of anthropologists, it is not so irrelevant to our own advanced civilization as it might seem. We too can become dissociated and lose our identity. We can be possessed and altered by moods or become unreasonable and unable to recall important facts about ourselves or others, so that people ask, "What the devil has gotten into you?" We talk about being able to control ourselves, but self-control is a rare and remarkable virtue. But so the intention is like this will be, I'll cut this part off and leave it as a video. Where's the cow emoji, Neutrino? It was cowbell that was requested, and you just gave us a bell. Marty says England is currently being flooded the way New York was recently. Not London, though, Yorkshire. Weather manipulation is bonkers. Philip Nickerson kicked a mushroom today, and Lenny asks if it was a punt or a field goal. Field goal. Welcome, everybody. This is the Sunday service stream where there's no fancy link at the top of the hive mind to the Buy Me a Coffee or coffee sites where you can download such things as these fancy background images. Like that one there. Oh, you didn't load the thumbnail. And this one, so we're back to this brand. Collection and fall farming. You have to hit on to finish your Sunday service by doing the thing you do where you at least manage to discuss the title and the thumbnail. Now, okay, fall farming is this. We battle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. So, what's in it? What's in it for the devil? What does the devil get out of your corruption? The temptation and defilement of the nobility and holiness of man aside, like, yes, he gets that, but what does he get out of that? Is it just is it more, perhaps, than glee? Is it more than just the moving of his emotions when you fall and sin and defile yourself in various ways? And this farming of the fall, I'm thinking of, is if he gets more than emotion and whatnot out of farming your fall, what is that other thing? Is it the creative power and potential that you otherwise squander, perhaps, or squirt into a sock? The fall farming segment of today's stream. Remember it.
This agency. We want
And Dolly coming in with a great bit of morbidity. What do you think is wiser, being buried or cremated? As far as personal body disposal, my preference is in a bag under a willow tree. But I think what's wiser than being buried or cremated is to live in the now and love while you can. Hey, it's Jesmond and his kite. Maybe it's his kite. Oh, you guessed about the devil. He gets your breath and a vessel in which to enact. He gets all the tools at your disposal. It's not a bad deal for him, but a terrible deal for you. Yeah, but he also, there's some the part of the contract is he has to get you off, at least in some fashion. I don't know. Red Pill says, I've been feeling like I climbed back out of the rabbit hole recently. If you go into a rabbit hole, please, please bring out the nugget of like, even if it's the thing that finally lets you stop pursuing, especially if it's the thing that lets you return to the surface from the rabbit hole saying, I can't look at this anymore. It's too deep and too horrible. That little nugget is a dark crystal, but we haven't watched that movie together yet. So, music play. Yeah, well, and unless we embody the victory, does it count? Does it count, Dolly, that Jesus is won and Satan is lost? If we don't embody the victory, you were at church. You have no idea, but you're here for the farming. You got it. That's the good part. We had a lot of friends. We had a lot of friends and happy time. And sometimes we leave the room.
The list? Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room? I want to cast magic missile.
The room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting magic missile. Why are you casting magic missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness.
And I have great and wonderful news for you. Those of you who have been here for the stream earlier were promised a special treat, and it was served to me by the algorithm just underneath Gavin's vidya, as if the algorithm knew that you guys needed it. Here's a casino.
What a sunny day, you'll find me on a big rock basking. Normally I need the shade, but that's all I've been having. I need the world way more than anyone needs me in it. If not for you, I'd run away and not admit it. I disappeared into an empty dark casino. I gambled everything, lost it incognito. And no one knows I'm breaking promises still. And that's until my comic books are right It's mixing on my colors, brings my head to light. I pass the days just floating on the daydream sailing. I did the dishes, took the trash out, feel amazing. I disappeared into an empty dark casino. I wonder what song is lacy suited Stano. And no one knows I'm breaking promises still. And that's until my comic books are right there. It's that's a good one. I finished all of my to-do list. I heard my favorite single by my friend's Bamboo Kiss. I'm in my sheet, built to seek out my own pleasure. It just so happens that my heart's my biggest treasure. I disappeared into an empty dark casino. I gambled everything and lost the incognito. And no one knows I'm breaking promises still. And that's what's in my comic books and right in the middle.
Something in that song reminded me. Stop it. Stop it. Who are you? And stop it. Okay. Something in that song reminded me that I have made progress on the Slumdog Pipe Dreams drama, and quite an interesting discovery when I did. But for those of you who are reading along, it's a paid post until I finish it, and once it's finished, it'll be public for everybody. There's a little sneak preview if anybody wants to read it from there. But let's see what the fun thing you found was, Grim. It's that there. Let's click through, shall we? The black sky is 23.3. Why, look, if that's not those numbers, we go back. If that's not those numbers, we recognize the USSF conducts the largest ever joint space electromagnetic warfare exercise. What a neat discovery that was for me. And this little bunny thing here. Marty, did you know that Lady Gaga and Mick Jagger appeared on stage with some man going by the name Bad Bunny at his performance in the Hootenanny? And do you wonder if saying such things as Lady Gaga and Mick Jagger appearing with Bad Bunny in your live stream will increase the number of people that YouTube shows your video to? These things I sometimes wonder about.
I'm gonna have a look at you.
It's just because I know deep down.
Slime! What? It's a river of slime!
And once we rescue all the people we can from it, as far as we're concerned, it can...
Is everything all right in here?
Yes, Nanny.
That's just what happens when we get a black joker on the blue church deck. Stuff like that.
No fur here. Sharks don't have fur.
All right, am I out? I don't know. Have I been of service? Do you need more service? Is there something you would like me to serve? Or should I be done? What are we doing? What's going on here? I'm getting lost. Well, thank you for reminding me. There was, for some reason, I felt that when I saw that this had been touched on in yesterday's stream, this fancy stream over here we call Dark Passengers, back from March. The fact that it was called Dark Passengers, and Dark Passengers is a reference to the serial killer portrayed in the movie film show with the Showtime guy, and he shaves himself at the beginning of every episode. It made me want to watch to see if anything in here needed to be rescued or remembered from that era. And since you're here, let's do it together. Just a foot of beard in one day. Branding. Remember, Embody.
There is no agency. We want
what's best. And quick and dirty, because I haven't been able to unhand them. Bonus saves. Choose! Survivalists, stick with your nat 20 or take this 14. Socialists, I think that's an upgrade to a 9. Lovers of wisdom, you're down to sense 8, but it's 8. So, and hard folks, that's a 15. I think it's probably because Magic showed up in the chat. She's the matriarch of the whoa. That's a nat 20 for the other folks. Hey, isn't that odd? On this stream that we had the nat 20, I ended up playing an old nat 20, and I did say. I don't know. I'm having fun. This has been the fall farming stream.
Now what'll that asshole think of next? Is anybody got a dime? I don't know.
But I'm. Oh, Dolly. She says, didn't you see that comment in the video played at the bottom left? The only thing I can see when I'm streaming is the bright shimmering of my own ego.
Community so that they can make a living, so that they can get the materials out of the earth that would make that Honda go again. So people took their lives and made sacrifices in their lives so they can live here, make a living, so that we can just live comfortable lives, right? So that block can be made and sent off from the factory and sent to a building crew who got its plans from an architect who works in a firm inside of a building who's trying to make a living for his family. And so then the guy sends it off in the mail or whatever it might be, and they get this building, these blueprints, and they get a whole bunch of people together from different trades to build a building so that they can make the food truck.
Something to look at from your red room. This guy in his red room. His red room. Red room.
Hey there, I'm Chad the Alcoholic, and the creator of the Friday Morning Nameless channel. I'd like to welcome you to join us for the latest and greatest and most up-to-date information about all the things happening in this corner of the internet.
But we have enough about that knowledge, and so now we're moving on to important fun topics like what else Space Force has going on. The CSO Leadership Library. Oh, the Space Force leaders highlight deaf childcare resource. What's going on? What's going on with this? Senior U.S. Space Force leaders shared their perspective with guardians and their families and addressed concerns about childcare resources at the first virtual Space Force Childcare Community Forum in July. The first virtual Space Force child. This is real, guys. Space Force is totally real. Tell me it's not. Tell me it's not. As a special treat for those of you who have stuck with us this long, I have remembered what else I wanted to say about this fancy pants fall farming that I had forgotten to say to you already. And special thanks to the Shadow Cabal, there is coffee out there for me to refill my cup with as you prepare yourself and and don't forget.
In all our searching, the only thing we've found that makes the emptiness bearable is each other.
Okie dokie. We've made it now to this faith farming fall. The fall of the faithful is okay. So, to what extent do you bear the image of the Creator? And what do we know about bearing the image from those that have testified from before? Now, there's how much, because you're a vessel for the breath of God, how much creative power is in your existence, and if there is more than none, if there is some measure of it, and perhaps that creative power and force of the source of the universe is what's being farmed when you fall. And the evidence I have in support of this theory is almost entirely a mustard seed, and the shadow faith it doesn't mention verily much at all. But it says some of these can only come out through fasting and prayer before the part about the mustard seed, and I don't want you to miss that bit. But the bit about the mustard seed is the whole, if you tell the mountain to move, it would move. And now my argument is that the reason the mountains don't move when we tell them to move is either because of our own shadow faith in the notion that they won't. Like, we deeply believe that that's not going to happen, no matter how much we act it out. The shadow faith prevents it from happening, or there's some collective consciousness restraints on what can or cannot actually happen under our creative power. But to the extent that that is not nil, that having a mustard seed of faith in something, whether or not something will or won't happen, is relevant, then how so dangerous would it be to allow any set institution or whatnot to have sway over what people did or did not believe was possible or was likely or was coming? This is what we refer to as the Tomorrowland effect sometimes, because it was portrayed in that movie with the funny guy from House.
Remember, there is no agency. We want what's best.
Oh, that's a line I wasn't familiar with. And I wonder if it has anything to do with the secret physiology of the 33rd vertebrae. I was thinking, Marty says, I'm going to apply for Space Force. I'm doing it. I'll keep you all updated. I was thinking maybe it's not a bad idea. Right? What are the restrictions? Let's talk to our recruiters. Let's all join Space Force together. No, Grim, in the show, you've gone off the rails too far. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for being part of the Sunday Service Fall Farming stream and everything it's entailed. Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal of production executives, especially for the submissions to the whiteboard that steered and directed this show as executive producers are like to do. Thank you for everybody, and I'll see you next time. And we're all too old for it, but we're still here. We're part of it now, Slack. We're part of it now. What part? Well, you didn't even move that one over? What a slacker. Slack. What? God mask. Okay. Train. Bye. Bye, train. Train, where's the train? This means that the individual's psyche is far from being safely synthesized. On the contrary, it threatens to fragment only too easily under the onslaught of unchecked emotions. While this situation is familiar to us from the studies of anthropologists, it is not so irrelevant to our own advanced civilization as it might seem. We too can become dissociated and lose our identity. We can be possessed and altered by moods or become unreasonable and unable to recall important facts about ourselves or others, so that people ask, "What the devil has gotten into you?" We talk about